We absolutely have to talk about this recent post that Elon Musk made on X.com stating that Tesla Robotaxis will unveil on August 8th. And he also pinned this to his profile. Now, in this video, I want to go ahead and share what we could potentially see on August 8th, as well as what we could potentially see with Tesla stock as well going into August 8th. Now, I do want to go ahead and highlight that I do have exposure to Tesla in my long-term portfolio. However, I also want to highlight that I was one of the few individuals who back on December 28th, I made a few videos warning people that Tesla stock was overextended from a fundamental perspective, a macro perspective, and as well as a technical perspective. And I got a lot of pushback. A lot of individuals were saying, no, Tesla stock was going to skyrocket. And then when it ended up starting to fall down, a lot of individuals were saying, no, Justin, this is the bottom. This is the time to buy. And I kept telling individuals, no, you probably want to be patient because this isn't the exact bottom. And that kept going on for a few months now. We're pretty much now in April, and we've seen Tesla stock continue to fall downwards. However, I want to go ahead and talk about what we recently just saw and highlight the recent trading session. Because in the last trading session, we saw Tesla stock pretty much get close to making new lows on the daily chart. But after Elon Musk made that post, minutes after, we saw Tesla stock start to push upwards. And so again, as I stated, I want to go ahead and talk about what we could potentially see with the stock, and as well as what we could see with this event going forward. And a lot of individuals may not like this, but I'm already getting comfortable with kind of being the bad guy in this space. Now, I know some individuals kind of agree with me, some individuals disagree with me. It really doesn't matter. I'm just trying to go ahead and provide what my outlook is in regards to this recent news. However, before we go ahead and move forward talking about this, we kind of have to talk about a couple of things that recently has happened before this. Now, we know that pretty much Tesla has made it where a lot of individuals who own Tesla cars now have this free membership trial for FSD. And this was somewhat a positive thing. In fact, it was actually pretty positive in a few aspects. Number one, when you take a look at the alternative data, we see that Google search terms for Tesla FSD has hit all-time highs. So there was a lot of interest from this from a lot of individuals who either own Teslas and want to go ahead and see how to go ahead and contribute getting the mileage on their cars using FSD, and even a lot of individuals who were interested in buying a new Tesla to go ahead and see what they could do with getting this free kind of trial for FSD. And so this is good. And one of the reasons why this was good is because we actually just broke a new record. For example, just 17 hours ago, Tesla shared that they hit 1 billion miles driven on FSD. And of course, every single mile driven on FSD contributes to pretty much this neural network learning to getting better, right? That's kind of how AI works. You kind of feed it a bunch of data and it gets much better. But I want to highlight where we are still in terms of FSD supervised for Tesla. And you could just do a simple Google search and you see that we're still on level 2. Now, for those of you guys that are unaware, I want to go ahead and show you guys this nice little pretty chart, I guess, or really diagram of what the different levels are. And so here we're seeing the levels of autonomy, or the automation levels of autonomous cars. Now, level 0 is just your basic car. Level 1, there's a few features. Level 2, that's where Tesla is at. Level 3 is when the cars can handle dynamic driving tasks but might still need intervention. Level 4 is technically where you have robotaxis, where these cars are officially driverless in certain environments. And then level 5 is these cars operate entirely on their own without any driver presence, and it can pretty much drive anywhere. Now, again, Tesla is still on level 2, but we already have other vehicles out there that are on level 4. Now, these vehicles are technically considered robotaxis, and you could just do a quick Google search and look at this. This is actually going to be Waymo. You look at what level of autonomy is Waymo, and you see that's a level 4 autonomy, meaning that it's technically a robotaxi. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this other kind of Google search right over here, where you see that a robotaxi is defined as an autonomous car, either level 4 or level 5, operated for a ride-sharing company. So technically, you don't need to have level 5 to be considered a robotaxi. So we already have level 4 robotaxis out there, and this is where I think a lot of individuals are going to disagree with me, especially the uber Tesla bulls, right? But again, I'm just here to share my opinion. You guys only do whatever you see value in terms of what you do with your long-term investments or your trades. Again, I'm just kind of providing my outlook. Have I been correct multiple times? Yeah, but I don't have a crystal ball. But here's the thing. I do not believe that pretty much in the next couple of months from April to August that Tesla's going to jump from level 2 autonomy to automatically being level 5 autonomy for all their Tesla vehicles. I don't think that's going to happen, especially because there's a lot of regulatory hurdles, right? I mean, come on, the government is not going to allow this without any kind of restrictions, right? It's going to take time for this to actually come out. And so what I believe is likely to happen, right, and this is just my view, is that we're probably going to have Tesla unveil a new vehicle that's level 4 autonomy, and it's not something that your regular Teslas that you drive are going to be able to do. It's going to be a completely different vehicle, kind of like a Waymo vehicle, where it's it's functional as a robotaxi, because technically Elon wouldn't be lying with this tweet. He could unveil a new vehicle where there's no steering wheel in it, and it's pretty much people can ride on it and use it as a ride-sharing app. And that's still good news because, of course, that could add another revenue stream for Tesla, although it's not going to be huge. We know that 80% or 81% of Tesla's revenues comes from its sales of vehicles. But that's kind of what I believe is going to happen. I don't believe that the Tesla that you drive right now with your FSD, fully self-driving, supervised, is going to jump from level 2 to level 4 or level 5. I think it's going to be a completely separate vehicle that is going to be technically a ride-sharing vehicle, kind of like Waymo, where it's level 4. And again, Elon wouldn't be lying if that were the case. And again, the reason why I don't think the vehicles that we have is going to jump from level 2 to level 4 or level 5 is because, again, there's regulatory hurdles, and I still believe there's a lot of improvement to take place. Now, anyone who's driven fully self-driving, they know this. I know people who don't drive Teslas, they may not know this, but there's still a lot of quirks, a lot of quirkiness, right? When you drive these vehicles, especially the latest version, I think this latest version is great. There's a lot of improvements from V12, but there's still a lot of instances of where you have to intervene, otherwise you're gonna get into a car accident. And I honestly consider this latest version kind of like level 1, because it's kind of level 1 of neural networks, right? It's not kind of just programming. Now it's kind of just like this algorithm learning. And that's not anything bad. I think, of course, we could exponentially grow from level 1 of this neural network version to a further and beyond level. And so that's good news, but I just don't think we're gonna go from April to August with everyone who has FSD to be able to have it fully autonomous without driving. I don't think that's going to be happening. Now, fingers crossed, if that does happen, then absolutely that's great news. But I think what's more likely to happen is a completely separate Tesla vehicle that has some, a couple of them, maybe a few thousands of them in production, with maybe a few hundred of them made, where they're going to be in major cities like Waymo, where they're going to be able to have ride sharing. And in that case, Elon Musk wouldn't be lying. But that tweet, or that post, right? I keep getting that confused, tweets, post, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, right? This post is a bit kind of hype. And I saw this other post on X, I was about to say tweet, this other post on X that kind of somewhat paints what I believe as well, what I think. And I'm going to go ahead and share that with you guys. So this individual here on X said that this Tesla Robotaxi unveil reeks of Musk's funding secured tweet, which earned him an SEC fraud charge and a fine in 2018. Will this be a functional robotaxi or a PowerPoint mock-up? Now, I disagree with what he's saying at the end. I think we are going to have a Tesla robotaxi, but not in the sense that your regular Tesla is going to be able to be fully autonomous. I don't think that's going to happen. Fingers crossed if it does. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's just going to be a separate vehicle where it is kind of like it is pretty much level 4, and it counts as a robotaxi by definition, and that's going to help Tesla earn some additional revenue. But this is somewhat reminiscent of that funding secured tweet where it's kind of hype for Tesla. All the Tesla Super Bowls are going to say, oh, look, this is coming in just 4 months. Everyone's going to be shocked, and hopefully they're right, because again, I do have exposure to Tesla in my long-term portfolio. I'm not shorting Tesla. I'm not selling Tesla. I think when I make these videos, people think I'm selling my Tesla shares. Of course not. Yeah, I may have a bearish outlook on Tesla currently, but I'm not shorting it. I'm not selling it. I'm just simply not buying it, as there's been several opportunities. I mean, for those within the Push and Profit private group, I mean, we've had phenomenal buys, both in the long-term portfolio trade ideas or even just short-term trades. For example, we talked about Nvidia breaking out before it even did so, and that was something that at one point in this year was already up 94%. We also talked about gold within the Push and Profit private group, which is up phenomenally as well within the last couple of weeks. And so I just simply haven't been buying Tesla in my long-term portfolio. I just been buying other opportunities that are doing massively well, and I've been getting a lot of hate from that because of course the Tesla community is like, no, if you're buying long term it doesn't matter. Look, you have to sometimes rebalance your portfolio, and you don't have to buy every single dip, because the dip can always get dippier, and that's why I've been waiting for confirmation of an uptrend, and we may have that with this news of Tesla. So it's kind of like that buy the news, sell the rumor type of thing, and I think that we could potentially have an opportunity to kind of actually buy into Tesla at these low points now if it crosses over a certain threshold, and for that confirmation of an uptrend. And I'll probably add more shares of Tesla to my long-term portfolio for the first time in a long time, and pretty much just kind of ride the wave up, and then probably when the news comes out we may see some selling again. We've seen massive selling during these Tesla days. I mean, when Optimus was released, I believe it was like September, what date? It's sometime in December, Tesla stock fell down like 8%. We see this on a lot of the days. I think it was like Battery Day or AI Day. A lot of these Tesla days, we actually see Tesla stock fall down significantly. So it's kind of like ride the news and then fall down after the actual news comes out, right? It's kind of, this actually happened with the Cybertrucks as well. I remember making videos about this a few months ago of how, hey, look, you're gonna wanna buy, if you're trading this, of course, ride the wave of the Tesla stock, while the hype of the Cybertruck is coming out. And then we actually had the Cybertruck date come out. Well, Tesla didn't do too well. And so that's kind of what I believe. But again, at the end of the day, you should only trade or invest in whatever you see value in. Have I been correct on Tesla for the last 3 years? Absolutely. But does that mean I'm going to be correct going forward all the time? No, I don't have a crystal ball. I just synthesize multiple data points and kind of just come up with this analysis of where I see Tesla going. And based on where we are at with FSD being level 2 and the idea that we're going to hit level 4 for fully autonomous vehicles for all the Teslas on the road is very unlikely. And so that's just my perspective. Again, I know I'm going to get crucified by the Uber bulls, but I'm already used to it. I honestly don't care what they say. I just care about doing what's right for my long-term portfolio or my short-term trading account. And right now, me, as well as many others within the Push and Profit private group, have been absolutely killing it. Which, by the way, if you want to join, it's going to be the first link in the description below, where you could go ahead and join. You get access to my daily briefings where every single day the markets are open. We talk about what is going on, what are we seeing in the markets, as well as sharing some trade ideas. So make sure to check that out. And if you haven't done so already, consider subscribing to the channel. But with that said, before you guys go, one more thing. If you guys could also make sure to check out this video right over here, and I'll see you guys on that next video. Take care, guys.